Short exercise 18-8, manufacturing overhead. So Glass Door Company manufactures sunglasses. The following is a list of costs the company incurred during May. So here are some costs. And what we're going to do is we're going to take these costs and find out which ones are total, or we're going to find out which ones are manufacturing overhead. And then we're going to total them up. So remember from the slides, all costs are either period costs or product costs. Product costs are either direct or indirect. Direct costs, these are costs that are directly tied to the product, and we can tell which products they went to. Direct materials would be like the parts of the product. Direct labor are the people that work directly on the product. And then over here we have indirect costs. These are things that cannot be traced directly to the cost object, which is the product. Either we can't trace them or it's just too expensive to do it. It's not economically feasible, like glue. So that includes indirect materials like glue, indirect labor like the people who sweep the factory, and then all other manufacturing overhead, which includes things like the electric bill for the factory. All right, let's go through these one at a time. So glue for frames, that is an indirect cost, and that's technically indirect material. So that's manufacturing overhead. Depreciation on company cars used by the sales force. Now, these cars are used by the sales force, so that would be a period cost because it's not a product cost. Remember, we're looking for a manufacturing overhead, which is a product cost. So the sales cars have nothing to do with producing the product. Plant depreciation. Now, that is a product cost, and it is manufacturing overhead because that cannot be tied directly to certain products. So we will put plant depreciation on here. Why? Because the plant is where the products are made. So this is a product cost, and it is technically manufacturing overhead. So that's $6,000. Next, we have, what do we have to choose from? Interest expense, that is not a product cost. Lenses, that is a direct material, so that's not manufacturing overhead. Company president's salary, that is a period cost. Plant foreman's salary. So because the salary is for the plant, it's a product cost, and because it's a plant foreman who oversees making all the products, not just specific products, that's going to be $3,000 of manufacturing overhead. Technically, it's indirect labor. Plant foreman's salary. And the plant janitor's wages, that is also manufacturing overhead. Technically, it is indirect labor also, like the plant foreman, because the plant janitor helps with the creation of the products but does not work specifically on the products. And then we've got oil for the manufacturing equipment. So that's $150. That's a product cost because the equipment is for making the product, so that is therefore a product cost. And technically that would be an indirect material because you cannot tell how much oil was used for each sunglasses or pair of sunglasses. So now all we have to do is add those up, and we get $10,450 of manufacturing overhead. So it's really important to understand how costs are broken down.